Hello guys, in this tutorial I show you my workflow on using the stem tool and the healing brush in Photoshop and Lightroom 5 Beta. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs and welcome to episode 41 of my photography, Lightroom and Photoshop tips. My name is Serge Ramelli and I am a French photographer living in Paris, France, and I am very happy to be with you guys. Last week I showed you how to use the Lightroom 5 Beta new tools to retouch a photo. If you have not seen it, check out last week's episode. This week I'm going to use again the Lightroom 5 Beta, but I'm going to do also a lot of Photoshop CS6, and I will show you my entire workflow on using the stem tool and the healing brush, because we have this photo with a lot of people in front of it, and I'm going to retouch it so we have this result. No more persons, or at least all the main persons out. So let me show you how I do this. Hello guys, so this week I want to show you a special tutorial on using some features in Lightroom 5, but also on cloning and using different healing brush to take out elements in a photo. Here is a story. There is a place called in Paris, La Place des Tertres, which is on the top of Montmartre. Montmartre is like a small village in Paris, which is a little hill, you know, in Paris. So it's like one of the highest vintage points you can have. And on this place, there is always a lot of people. And so I wanted to have, you know, for postcards, you cannot have too much people. You know, you also, for copyright reasons, they cannot be recognizable and things like this. And so I also like, for aesthetic reasons, to have, you know, not too much crowded photos. So anyways, I tried a technique that Scott Kelby showed me when he was in Versailles, which I thought was pretty interesting, which is you put a tripod on and you take several photos of the same building and you just wait for people to pass by. So this is the first shot. This is a few seconds afterwards, and this is a few seconds afterwards. People have moved a bit. So I'm going to use that to erase easily some people. And I will show you the whole workflow. And then I will have to get more into stamping and healing brush, and I'll show you how I use this type of tools to clean up my image. So let's do first a standard retouching. This is Lightroom 5 Beta. I use it because I love it. I think it's very powerful. It's free. You can find a link to download this software in the description of my video. It's going to be free apparently up to July or something like this. That's what I heard. So that's pretty cool. So it's not 30 days, but it's like 90 days trial. So that's really cool. Full software. So first thing I'm going to do is, as usual, my workflow, you know, I'm going to open up the shadows and I'm going to put down the highlights. Okay. Before I do my whites and blacks, whenever I have some sky like this that I want to bring some drama, because I am Mr. Drama and I love drama that I put everywhere, I'm going to take this gradient filter. I'm going to press the Alt key. The word effect goes to reset. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to put the exposure a bit down, and I'm going to make one first filter here. Now on this right part, on the top of lowering the exposure, I'm going to add some clarity, because I want to get some more details in these clouds, because these clouds are very much detailed, but this one's not so much. So to balance that, I add this bit of clarity. Then I'm going to create a new neutral density filter. How is it called? I'm messed up, sorry. Graduated filter. Okay, between all the language, I get messed up. Okay, so it's the same settings. I just took clarity off. You know, it's just, I'm lowering the exposure. Once I've done that, I'm ready to do my whites and blacks. I just wanted to balance out the sky first before I do my whites and blacks. So you know the drill. White, I just press the Option key and I go right until I see some white points. But I go about this way, plus 30. And then on the black points, I press the Option key or the Alt key, and I'm going to go a bit further when I see a bit more points. Okay, so now I've got a good dramatic photo. Now, I am not going to do the lens correction part of it now, because my Photoshop RAW engine is not up to date compared to Lightroom 5 Beta, so it's not going to take that into account. I saw that when I tried to do it before recording this podcast. So all the because you see how the building is crooked. All this, which is just one click away, basically this click is going to make the whole photo straight. I love that option. I think it is, you know, I'm a really lazy guy, and before going into manual and trying to find out what the white figure is, and now you just have to click auto. Whoa, this is holidays for me, guys. Just for that, I'm buying Lightroom 5. Anyways, I'm going to do that afterwards once I'm back from Photoshop. So now I have corrected the first image, and I'm basically going to take all three. That's just a basic, you know, real basically, you know, retouching. The rest I'm going to do after I did all the cloning in Photoshop. So I'm going to click on sync, make sure everything is checked by check all, and synchronize. Now all three photos have the same look. They have the same basic corrections. So now I'm going to right click, edit, open as layers in Photoshop. Not open in Photoshop, open as layers. You see, this version of Lightroom may require the Photoshop camera plugin in version 8.1, but I did not update, and I'm not sure it is available, the 8.1. So anyways, so you just click on open anyway, and it works. So what it's going to do, it's going to open up the three photos and put each one on the same layer. Now, this technique I show you, you can do it with like 10 photos. But it gets really confusing. So I found a way so it's not so much confusing, that I want to share. You see, I've got three photos. Each photos, the different persons on it have different places. They are not at the same places. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to analyze between this layer and the layer below. Okay, that layer is like this. So what do I do? For example, I look at this girl and this man. Okay, if I remove the visibility of that layer, I hide that layer, I can see they are gone. So then all I have to do is create a mask, take my brush, make sure it's at 100%, and I can just paint over that couple, and they're gone. Magic. It's beautiful. Then you see this white spot? Let's check it out. If I hide this layer, oh, it's gone. It's not there, you see, on the layer below. So same thing, I can just brush it away. Okay, now I look at her. How is she? Oh, she's leaning down. She's down. Okay, I prefer that. It's going to be easier to erase her, so I take that version. Okay, now I look at this man. How is it? It doesn't change from one photo to another. This woman, how is she? It doesn't change. So it doesn't change enough. And this couple here doesn't change enough. And this couple doesn't change enough. Okay, so I got the best out of this, you know. I mean, already if I disable the layer mask, see, we took out this, and this. So I'm going to enable the mask, and I'm going to take these two layers and I'm going to merge them. Merge layers. Okay, I right click. Now, once I've done that, I've got only two layers left, and so now I do the same thing. I look at her, at the baby and the girl. Okay, they are the same place. Not much I can do there. I look at him. Okay, same place. I look at her, and I hide the layer. Ooh, she's moving. So that means I can just create a layer, and same thing, and just take her away. Voila. Oops. Sorry, I went a bit too bad. Just make sure you go on her. Okay, what about him? Let's check it out. Oh, he's gone too. Perfect. Okay, what about these two here? They are gone also. And see how I took most of the people out with just 3 photos. Imagine if I would have taken 10 photos, you know. That's what Scott did. He did that in Versailles. There was thousands of tourists, and he took, I think, 10 or 20 photos, and he took everybody out, and the whole place was empty. It's an amazing trick. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge these last 2 layers, and now I'm going to go into more retouching. I'm going to go into the stem tool. So let's zoom in on the photo. Okay, now I want to take them out. You know, I'm not a terrorist, you know, I just want to erase them for the purpose of, you know, having a clean photo of copyright. So, but I like these people, there's no problem with that. This is just a joke, a bad joke. I'm really bad at jokes. Anyway, so this is a stem tool. The way this works is if you press the Option key, it becomes a target, okay? Now, usually what I do is when I have a target, I put it over something which is very definite, like an edge. So I'm going to click it on this edge here. And now I have a preview. If I go over her, I can see I can line up the two edges together. And then I just have to click, and I make a pass up and down just once, and I let go. That's very important. You have to let go. Because if you don't let go, if you keep your mouse on it, let me show you what happens. Let's say that I don't let go, and I keep on going this way. You see, I've copied, look at this green thing. I've copied this from this. So to not do that, you just go up and go down, and then you let go. And then you do it again. And then you let go. And then you do it again. And you let go. Okay, now we've got weird stuff here, but that's okay. So, I mean, it's not a very precise and, beautiful science, but it gets, elements which are a bit distracting off. So no, I can just correct that, make this smaller and take this out maybe a little bit. Oops. So now this did not work because, you know why it didn't work? Because my stamp tool is very feathered out. So let me Command Z, and if I put the harness like this now, and I press the Alt key just below this and move it above, I'm going to make a very definite, I'm going to make a very definite line, but then I move my mouse too much. So what I can do now, and I just click, hold on the Shift key and click again, and make a definite straight line. Okay, that was bad. It's a lot of trial and errors to do a stamp tool, but it's always the same thing. You alt something like here, and you move, and then you take a decision. Of course now the side work is a bit weird. I added this, but is it better to have this than to have two big people here? That's the question. Now I'm not gonna. It took me like a couple hours to clean up everything. I just want to show you the basic theory behind it. Now this man, same thing. Can I take him out? Why not? I'm going to put my harness back at 0. Same thing. This chairs is a pattern. Okay, so let's see if we can replace it. I'm just going to click here. Okay, so now I have an edge, and here I am, and I go up and down. I let go, up and down, up and down, and just one here. Okay. And okay, it's a bit mixed up with the chairs, it's a bit, not very clean, but believe me, hardly anybody's going to notice that, and they will notice more the person, It's a choice you have to make. Same thing here. I'm going to take this table, and I'm going to put it instead of this man. Okay? And when I get on top here, I make this smaller. I'm going to take this line. Now I would spend more time on the photo, but that's a bit the idea. I'm taking out the more obvious persons, in the photo. This I'm going to see if I can take out in Lightroom 5. I'm not sure. Or when you got a line here, I'll show you a little trick. When you got a line, you take another tool, the Spot Healing Brush tool, okay, and you make it a bit big like this. You press once. You hold on the Shift key and you go the other way around. Oops, no, not a good idea. I was, because there's a curve, so you have to do it in 2. Let's press the here, and then Shift key here. Okay, that should clean it up. Here, and Shift key here. All right. So, okay, now the healing brush tool doesn't work when you get close to, it only works when you have like a line and some patterns around it. When you have like a different pattern very close to it, it doesn't work. So S for stamp tool, again, make sure harness is at 0, very important. And then I just clean this up, with the stamp tool. Okay, now I know this is going to be a problem for me when I'm back into Lightroom. So I want to erase, let's say I want to erase that. Now this I would do, you can try 2 tools. You can try, for example, the new patch tool. Patch tool is beautiful. You just do a selection around that and put it over what you want to replace. And boom, it works. I want to take this out because I know it's going to be a problem for me back in Lightroom 5. You will understand why later on. I don't want anything to stick out there. Okay. And maybe I'm going to take this out because this will all disappear. So that's another tool to erase stuff which I love, which is this new patch tool. Okay. That's more or less what I wanted to do. There is something a bit weird there, so I'm taking back my stamp tool and I'm going to resample some clouds to make sure it's natural. Then I'm going to close this, go back into Lightroom 5, and I'm going to go, now I've erased anything which is sticking out from that wall, and then I'm going to go to lens correction, and I'm going to click on auto. And auto, you see, is going to align this. Now I'm going to recrop by clicking, I press the R key. I'm going to crop this to make sure nothing's sticking out there. I don't like that. Maybe a little less room there. Okay, so we still have people, but they are not recognizable because they're very small, and all the people which were a bit distracting in the foreground are gone. So that's kind of cool. So to finish off, I'm going to lower a bit the exposure. I'm going to add some post-crop vignetting, maybe, you know, something like that. And add a bit of contrast. Overall, I want to make this really dramatic. And then, you know how I'm crazy about dodge and burn. I'm going to use a new radial tool. Here we go to light up a bit this building. So right now, it's doing the opposite that I want. You see, everything is going bright except the circle. I don't want that, so I'm going to invert the mask. And now I've got a real spotlight on that wall. Let me increase it so you see, like I've got a little light here. I'm going to not so strong. I'm just going to make it a bit subtle. It's just to add a bit of texture to the building. And then Alt Command to duplicate. Alt and Command to duplicate again. I'm going to make 3 circles. I can change each circle maybe here. Put a bit of light here. Just to, you know, put some more interest in. Maybe one last here, but smaller. It's just, you know, create a interesting lightning. I think this is not strong enough, so I'm going to make it a bit stronger. This is not strong enough. I just want to, I don't want anything to be evenly light. That's my thing. I have actually created an association against objects which are evenly light. I fight against that every day. All right. So now, maybe a bit more. Yeah, it's just to make it a bit subtle, a bit, you know, a bit more nice. Okay, so I kind of like that. Maybe add a bit more clarity to make it even more dramatic. And this is how we went from this, you know, fully unusable crowded place to a dramatic carte postale. Okay, I kind of like that. So, as usual, you know, I need to pay the bills. So to help me pay the bills, you have the possibility, ladies and gentlemen, to go onto my website, photosearch.com, click on English tutorial, and you will discover hours and hours of training for $10 per training. Yes, you heard me, $10. The cheapest Lightroom tutorials you can find on the web. Each course is about 2 hours long with raw files so you can follow along from the beginning to the end. And so that's really interesting. Last week, I did a little game with you guys, which was very successful. And I said, if you share this video on your social network, you know, whatever it is, Facebook or Twitter, or you know, you just talk about this tutorial because you liked it, you can just write me, and my email is going to show up here on screen. You can just write me, and I will send you for free the raw file that I've used, so you can, you know, recreate exactly the same photo at home. You know, this dramatic Place des Tertres at Montmartre. You can do it, and you can even print it. You can put it on your wall. You know, it's a 21 million pixel file. All I'm asking you is to share to your friend this podcast. This way they can find out about me and my work. A clever way to do cheap marketing, isn't it? Anyway, thank you very much for you being guys here. I really appreciate all your comments and all your messages. I get a lot now. And I'll see you next week for another crazy French episode. So I hope you learned something from this tutorial. Using the stem tool is it's pretty hard. You know, you have to drill a lot and train. But if you follow this workflow, you should get some good results. Thank you guys for being here. If you've got any ideas for tutorials you want to hear, leave me a comment. If you do like the video, like it. And if you want to get the raw file, share this tutorial on your social network. Write me and I will send you the raw file like I did last week. Thank you very much and I'll see you next week.